know what's squishy, floaty, and lives in the water? That's right, it's jellyfish, enthuses Emma, her voice brimming with fascination and delight. They're like these enormous, transparent bubbles bobbing along in the ocean. Can you believe they don't have any bones or brains? Yet they're all squiggly and wobbly, just going wherever the water takes them. It's as if they're dancing to the rhythm of the sea. Emma continues, her tone turning slightly serious. But, you know, some jellyfish can sting with their long, wavy tentacles. It's how they catch tiny fish for food. We must remember to admire them from a distance to avoid getting stung. Ouch! Her voice brightens again as she says, but the most magical part about jellyfish? They come in so many beautiful colors, from pretty pinks to blues, and some even glow in the dark, like they're having a twinkling party under the sea. Jellyfish are just so cool, don't you think? Guess what? Jellyfish are super duper good swimmers, even without fins or tails. They don't need to flap around like fish. Instead, they're like graceful dancers in the water, bobbing and weaving with the ocean's rhythm. Isn't that neat? But how do they move, you ask? Well, they have a special trick. They fill their bodies with water, then squeeze it out to push themselves forward. It's like they're playing a game of underwater tag with the currents. And hey, did you know that jellyfish aren't picky eaters? Nope, they're happy to munch on tiny fish, plankton, and other little sea creatures. They catch their dinner with their long, wiggly tentacles. It's a bit like fishing, but instead of a rod and reel, they use their own bodies. But be careful. Some jellyfish can sting to protect themselves or catch their food. Remember, we must always look at them from far away because they might sting us. Jellyfish come in lots of pretty colors, like pink, blue, and even glow in the dark. Isn't that amazing? Imagine swimming in the ocean and seeing a jellyfish glowing like a little underwater lantern. It's like they're carrying their own little stars with them. Now, you might be wondering, how do they do that? Well, some jellyfish have special cells in their bodies that can produce light. This is called bioluminescence. Yes, it's a big word, but it simply means light produced by a living thing. Cool, huh? These glowing jellyfish can light up the dark waters and they look absolutely magical. Some jellyfish glow blue, while others might glow green or even red. The ocean is their stage, and they are the shining stars, lighting it up with their dazzling display. Just think of it as their way of throwing an undersea party, inviting all their friends to dance and play in the glow of their sparkly lights. It's like they're having their own undersea party with sparkly lights. Sometimes when I go to the beach with my family, we see jellyfish washed up on the sand. There they are, all squishy and wiggly, just like floaty water balloons. But even though they look super interesting, we always remember not to touch them. Why, you ask? Well, because even when they're out of the water, a jellyfish can still give a stinging surprise. We usually see them in the early morning or late evening when the tide goes out. It's like the ocean leaves little gifts for us to find. But remember, these gifts are for our eyes only, not our hands. Sometimes we see small ones, sometimes big ones, and sometimes even those that glow. It's like an art gallery of nature right there on the beach. But we always keep a safe distance, enjoying their beauty from afar. We just look and say, wow, jellyfish are so interesting. Jellyfish are amazing sea creatures, and I like them a lot. They're like big squishy bubbles bobbing and floating in the ocean waves. They don't need bones or brains to move. They just dance with the water currents. Isn't that cool? And remember, some jellyfish can sting with their wiggly tentacles. They use it to catch tiny fish for dinner. But for us, it's an ouchie. So we always admire their beauty from a safe distance. They also come in many pretty colors. Some are pink, some are blue, and some even glow in the dark. It's like they're having a big undersea party with their own sparkly disco lights. I've seen jellyfish at the beach too, washed up on the sand. But even then, we never touch them. We just look and say, wow, jellyfish are so interesting. They really are like floating water balloons in the ocean. Bye-bye. Remember, jellyfish are fascinating, but we always need to admire them from a distance.